Oh, drummers, it's Rob Litton here from drumstheword.com. Welcome to this free full video song lesson where today I'm going to show you how to play the absolute classic Jailhouse Rock by Elvis Presley, drummed by DJ Fontana. And I've got the full song for you written out in PDF form. You can download from my website. You'll find a link beneath this video. So I have to put it out in front of you as we go through this together. It's going to make things a lot easier for you to understand. If you've got any of your own song suggestions, you can go over to my Facebook page and you'll see a post pinned to the top of the page where you can put your song suggestions in. Others get to vote on them and the most popular songs get chosen for future lessons. And at the end of this lesson, I'm going to talk to you briefly about how you can sign up to become an online member and gain access to over 600 full video song lessons, but we'll talk more about that at the end of the lesson. So, first thing I want to say at the top of the page is that all eighth notes are swung throughout. The chorus involves a quasi-swing pattern on the hi-hats, somewhere between straight and full swung. Now that second part about the chorus we'll get onto when we get to the chorus. But the first thing I've wrote there is the eighth notes are swung. So instead of writing this in triplets, I decided to count it as to write it in eighth notes. But we're just going to swing those eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just be aware that's how we're sort of counting it. So we come in with these snare drum licks at the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and. We actually get that first snare drum note there falling on the and a beat 3. And DJ's playing the rim of the snare drum for all of these strikes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that's our basic pattern through these strikes. The and a 3 and beat 1. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. There's our basic pattern throughout all these sections. Now, what I tried to do really carefully was to listen out for these little subtle ghost notes that I think I'm hearing. Pretty sure that they're being played. It's not just an echo on the mic or something. The DJ is actually playing some ghost notes. And then later in the song, as we go through each of the verses, he just sort of improvises a little bit extra. So hopefully I'm hearing this right. But what I'm hearing for the first two bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that little ghost note there on the and a beat 4 is to be played as quietly as possible. So we get for that second bar 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Remember we're swinging it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So don't worry too much about these before I go through all these little ghost notes. Don't worry about them too much. You could just play the basic pattern all the way through for each of the verses. That's great. That'll get you through the song. But if you want to play the extra, go the extra mile, then you can sort of copy what DJ's playing. So that happens again in 1, 2, 3. In bar 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And again in the next bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. Then we go into verse 1 where I think Elvis kicks in with the vocals. We get that same idea at the end of bars 3 and 4. And then on the next line, we don't get any ghost notes. And we end the section with a snare drum and bass drum on beat 1 of bar 3. So we get from 2 to 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Excuse me. Bass drum and snare drum together on beat 1. Beat 1. It might be the floor tom and snare drum, but I think it's just the bass drum. So I think he's playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But you could play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 if you wanted to give it even more power. Then we skip over that for the rest of that bar. And in bar 4 we get 1, 2, 3. We get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 swung eighth notes played the same volume. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to go into our first chorus. Chorus 1. So now this is what I mentioned at the top of the lesson about is that quasi-swing pattern. Very hard to replicate and play exactly how DJ does this. What we're playing is a very simple drum beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and up to speed. But it's not that on the hi-hat. It's also not swung or shuffled completely. That's also not quite what he's doing. It's in between. It's a quasi kind of shuffle fill. Very hard for me to replicate exactly. And I end up sounding a bit messy trying to go between the two. Sometimes you hear it straight and others, sometimes you hear it more shuffled. DJ's naturally playing this is sort of his style, playing this sort of this early rock and roll where you're going from swing into a more straight pattern. So just be aware that that's the feel we're going for. If you can't get that or don't want to worry about it, then just play shuffled all the way through these choruses. That's what the rest of the band are doing, I believe. So if you want to play it full shuffle with the right hand, that's absolutely fine. But be aware that this is what I'm trying to show, and what you're about to hear when I demonstrate it for you is that quasi feel. So that out of the way, we come into the choruses each time. Weirdly, we just the bass drum on beat one, and then the hi-hat comes in on beat 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. So just be aware when we go from the end of verse 1, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and that's how he goes into it each time. Very, very subtle. If you wanted to play a crash on beat 1, if I was playing it with my band, I'd play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I would play a crash on beat 1, but DJ does it on the recording. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just be aware that's what's being played on the recording. So we get 8 bars of that groove, and then at the end of that line, chorus 1, this is what I believe I'm hearing. He's definitely playing 1 and 2 and 3, open hi-hat on 3, followed by a snare drum on the end of 3, 3 and, which is going to sort of lead us into the next verse section. But then I'm also hearing, I believe, or feeling 2 ghost notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and. So we get this roll and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and. Then we're into our next verse. So this is what I think he's playing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. By the way, that hi-hat closes on beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1 and 2. That's what I believe I'm hearing on the recording. So the last 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. Something like that. Let me now play for you properly, properly. The whole of verse 1, the intro and chorus 1, up to speed, without the microphone on so you can hear just the drums. Here we go. So in verse 2, I'm hearing a lot more improvisation with the little ghost notes. First bar sounded stuff, but then in bar 2, I believe he drags into beat 1. Very, very quiet. I might be wrong about hearing this, but this is what I'm sort of feeling more than hearing, is this drag with the left hand, or you can play it right hand drag, doesn't matter, but dragging into beat 1 like that. Then at the end of that bar, we get the and 4 and 1. So we get the, I play it left, right, by the way. You can play it any way you like. Right, left. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to play it left, right. So, and 4 and 1. Of course, we're swinging it. And 4 and 1. The most important thing is to get those ghost notes as quiet as possible. It's the and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, which is what will be the prominent part of each of these sections. So then we get the next 2 bars. We've gone over with sort of those ideas. Bar 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Same idea again. Bar 2, I'm hearing a drag. And then going from 2 into bar 3, it's just simply and 4 and 1. No bass drum this time. It's only at the beginning of the song that I hear the bass drum on beat 1. Coming out the same way though. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Going into chorus 2 the same way as we did chorus 1. And chorus 2 is identical to chorus 1. Even the end, I believe, where we get the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1 idea again being played. So let me now play for you verse 2 and chorus 2. So let's go over verse 3 briefly, because it's basically just a combination of verse 1 and 2 with the ideas. So we've got a little ghost note going from bar 1 into bar 2. We've got a drag on bar 3. Next line, same as line above it for bars 1 and 2. Bar 3, just the snare drum on its own with the amp at the end of the line. And then we go into chorus 3, which starts the same way as normally. But bar 8 is slightly different. So we get 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2. And those 3 snare drum notes are all the same volume. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, leading into a crash and bass drum. 1 and 2, 3, 4. There might be a little quiet ghost note there on beat 2. I'm playing 1 and 2. There might be a little ghost note there, but I don't think there is. We just get that. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. We're then going to go into beat 1 of this new section, which is sort of a jazzy idea. The guitar solo. So we move to the ride cymbal for the only time in the song, and it's really hard. By the way, what I didn't mention earlier on with the choruses is the bass drum. I believe he's playing, but he might have been feathering the bass drum and doing this. The bass drum is very hard to hear apart from that first note, which he really accents. The rest of the bar is kind of very hard to hear what the bass drum's doing. And in this guitar solo, I'm pretty sure this is what most jazzers do, is they feather the bass drum on all quarter notes. So this is what I've written. He might be playing 1, 2, 3, the bass drum's on 1 and 3, but my approach to jazz playing, and a lot of these old school drummers do, and especially with this sort of rock momentum, is to play the bass drum on all 4 beats of the bar. So you could do either. I've written it as quarter notes, but I couldn't hear it. I couldn't be 100% sure, so just be aware of that. So what we get is basically the bass drum on all 4 beats, crossed up, hi-hats stepped on beats 2 and 4. Again, very hard to hear, but occasionally it does pop out. And then snare drum on beats 2 and 4. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine, but then going into it, it's almost like he gets caught out, DJ, where the first bar he doesn't play the snare drum on beat 2 of the first bar. He plays. So beat 2 is skipped over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. But then bar 2, he's back on snare 2 and 4. So we get this crossover from the end of chorus 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It might be done on purpose, don't know. Who am I to say? But that on the recording, he doesn't play the snare drum on beat 2 of that first bar. So if you want to copy it note for note, that's what you've got to do. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. They just didn't do accidentally on beat 2, but that's what I do anyway. I play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I would play 1, 2 and 4 for that first bar. So on it goes, and then the end of that line, we get 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. So it ends with 1, 2, and 3, and then we get the snare drum on the end of 3, no stepped hi-hat foot on beat 4, not that I'm hearing. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, going into verse 4, and 4, and 1. We're leading each of these choruses into each of the verses the same way with this and 4 and 1. So before we go to the next section, let me now play for you chorus 3 and guitar solo up to speed. Here we go. So that's really all of the song. For verse 4, we just get 8 bars of the standard stuff. I'm not hearing any extra ghost notes. The chorus 4, exactly the same as our previous choruses. Verse 5, look out for 1 extra ghost note at the very end, going into bars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into bar 7. A little ghost note there on the and of 4. On beat 4, sorry. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1. Yeah, I'm hearing and 4 and 1 and 4. So just a ghost note on beat 4. So that's slightly different actually. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I might have misheard it. Again, don't worry too much about those. And then chorus 5 is really just play the chorus drum beat all the way to the end of the song where it starts to fade out. So he's just playing our standard chorus drum beat all the way through to the end of the song. And that's how it ends, fades out. So, if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Don't forget to download both pages of the PDF for free from our website. Again, the link is beneath this video. And while you're over at the website, if you haven't done so already, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And what I currently offer for £97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And that's over 600 famous and popular songs where, just like this lesson, I teach you the song from start to finish. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart for each of those lessons. And like I said, I've got over 600 famous and popular songs up on the website already. As a thank you for signing up, I give you access to hundreds more little videos teaching you many, many famous drum beats, fills, and even drum solos. I believe I've got some DJ Fontana stuff up on there also, so if you're a fan of DJ, you've got some stuff to get your teeth stuck into already. I give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous drum beats, fills and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.